Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we have some superior gameplay for you using Blade, the champion that most of you have forgotten. We have a level 200 5-star awakened Blade, rank 5, and this guy has absolute immortality, and I'm going to show you what I mean in the video. Now here we go. We have synergy with Mephisto. We have synergy with Ghost Rider, the original Ghost Rider, not Cosmic Ghost Rider. And we have Blade with Spider-Man Stark Enhanced for potency. And we're going to bring in one more champion to clear this Realm of Legends. We're going to complete the entire Realm of Legends, which is Void. And we're going to need Void for one of these fights to take on that Wolverine, who has that absolute beast mode regeneration. And we're going to need someone that does heal reversal for that one fight. But we are going to take a look at Blade. I'm going to show you how I use Blade most efficiently and effectively. Hopefully you get some tips on how to use this guy, someone that we pretty much the entire community forgot about, but you forgot that this guy is the absolute vampiric immortality beast. So let's take a look at Blade. As you can see, he is going to be an absolute beast, and if you have him or you're fortunate enough to have him on your roster, you definitely need to take this guy up to level 200, fully awakened, and just go into beast mode. Now here we have the first fight with Winter Soldier, and just going to demonstrate on this fight. We push him to SP2. And things and tips to know about Blade: once the opponent is bleeding and you're close to the opponent, you're going to get superior power gain. You are just going to push that power gain all the way up to level 3. So we're at SP1. It pushes easily to SP2 with that power gain because you're close to the champion that is bleeding. And so tip number 1, once you put a bleed on the opponent, get close to them and you're going to get and benefit from that power gain. So couple tips with Blade. You want to push him to level SP2. Fire off that SP2. It does absolutely beastly damage, as you can see. Plus, once you're close to the champion, firing off that, you're going to get almost 1 bar of power. Now, the second thing you need to know about Blade is you don't really want to push him to SP3 because you always want to have some power and a bar of power active. And why do you want to have that active bar of power on Blade? Well, when Blade is holding block and he is below 71% health, he starts regen. And he starts regenerating and using up those bars of power. So the more power you have, bars of power, the more he regens. But he regens back to 71%. And that is where you could continue using your SPs and stuff like that, because he's already at max health in regen mode. So here we go. As you can see, we just bleeding this guy to death. He is absolutely great at bleed. Now, the only champion I would say would bleed faster than him will be Nick Fury. Obviously, he stacks those bleeds, and obviously Gwenpool stacks tons of bleeds on champions as well. But none of them regenerates the way Blade does, and that is his superior ability against anyone. In fact, I would say that he is better than Nick Fury when it comes to regen. Nick Fury goes on to the real Nick Fury mode, and then when he dies, he's dead. He cannot stay in the fight. There's no regeneration that he can tap into. The same thing goes with Gwenpool, for example. But with Blade, as you would see in this gameplay, we are going to demonstrate how very versatile this guy is with that SP2, how versatile he is with regen, hold and block, and he just stays in every single fight so much longer. SP2, as you can see, we close, we bleed in the opponent, Winter Soldier, we back up to SP2, and this guy can use SP2 over and over and over again. SP1, you could mix it up. If the opponent is not bleeding, throw in an SP1, start that bleed process, and it will just give you that power gain much quicker, and you'll be able to fire up that SP2. But as you can see, it's at 71%. We finish off the fight at 70%, and that's fight 1 in the bin, done and dusted, just over 300 hits. But now we go into the second fight. And this is against Captain Marvel. Now check it out. He's at 71%. We're gonna hold block. And there you go. He's up to 71%, and that's the max. If I had a complaint about Blade, I would say that I don't know why they stopped him at 71%. He should have been able to go right back up to 100%, like Wolverine does. But that is the only part that I don't like about him. But you know what? 71% is more than enough to do tons of damage and stay in gameplay forever. This guy is truly immortal once you play him right. So I pushed myself to SP3, fired off the SP3. And the danger in pushing yourself to SP3 and firing it off is now you used up all your bars of power. If you got clipped or you got hit at this point, you have nothing to do or nothing to use for regeneration. And that is indeed a problem. So I will never push Blade to SP3. I push him to SP2 and a half, 2 3/4, fire off the SP2. That puts him back into the gameplay. Plus he has two things now. He can fire off an SP1, SP2, or he can use the bars of power. Even if I push him to an SP3, I would get hit, use the bars of power to regenerate, and then fire off the SP2. So again, this guy stays truly immortal, and he stays at 71%. Between 60-70% is where you want him, because you can use that regeneration to stay in the fight longer. Now, like I said, we're going to complete this Realm of Legends. We're going to do every single fight. We're going to use Blade. We are not going to use any revives. We're not going to use any potions. That's the third factor with Blade. He saves you on units, he saves you on revives, he saves you on potions, and I think everyone forgot about that. This guy stays in the fight longer than anyone else. Now, unless you're on a path where there is heal block or heal reversal, then he's absolutely useless then, because that heal reversal will definitely kill you if you start holding block and you're below 71% health. But as you can see, we are taking down Captain Marvel. Same strategy. Back up to 71%. Time the blocks. Parry. If you don't know how to parry well, learn to parry. If you still don't know how to parry, back up, hold block, and you're going to regen from a distance. Fire off your SP1, SP2. Have some bars of power there. And again, just hold block to regen. Now, he regens based on how much, obviously, 6 stones you have in him. So this is fully maxed out 200, so you will see how devastating this regen is. He goes right back up to 71% in a couple seconds. 62% I'm going to show you, 66%. We are holding block, taking hits, and still regenerating. It's an absolute beast mode. Now, check this out again. We're going to hold that block. We're at 70%. Hold block. We're going to go back up to 71% by holding block. Fire off the SP2. We are close. She's bleeding. We're going to have some power gain here. We're going to regen right back up to 71% and continue the destruction and the absolute abuse of beating up on every opponent while regenerating and holding block. Now, there is no one else in the game that does this effectively and while holding block and in a defensive position. Now, clairvoyant regens as well, but it's absolutely nothing like this. You have to be in a specific mode, you have to have a certain rotation, you have to time it well. With Blade, all you do is hold that block when you're under 71%. Once you have some bars of power or some energy, you're going to do regeneration and stay in the gameplay. Now, everyone thinks that, well, Human Torch is very effective against Mystic champions. And yes, he is. He's absolutely a beast. But check out Blade. Blade is the original Mystic killer. Blade, with the synergies that we have on here, and even without the synergies, devastating. But we do have Mephisto, which gives him the opportunity to be effective against all Mystic champions, and he has the synergy with Ghost Rider, and he has the synergy with Stark Enhanced Spider-Man here for potency with his blade. Here you go. Just looking at the gameplay here, and here we go. His danger sense I'm thinking about. So his Stark Spidey gives him that danger sense potency, 45% I believe, increased potency with danger sense. Now he is absolutely wrecking this Juggernaut. We are holding block, guys, taking that special SP2, SP1 from Juggernaut, and we are still regenerating while holding block. The regen at 200, Sig level 200 is so intense that it is very difficult for this guy to take damage. SP2 fires off. We get that power gain because he's bleeding. And again, it's just, here you go, rinse and repeat. He's at 61%, 66%, 70%, back up to 71%, holding block. So I'm telling you, it's the perfect range frame between 60 and 70%. And sometimes the fights, you like getting that hit, and then you like regen. It just feels so good to know that you just instantly regaining all of that health. Now here we go. We have the next fight on is Rhino, and again we start off the fight with 71%. It doesn't matter if we take hits. We are going to continue to regen. If he falls below 71%, hold that block, fire that SP2, and it's safe to fire off the SP2 as soon as you get it. Once they bleed in, remember you're going to be close to them for a certain portion of that damage, which means your power gain is going to be going up, as you can see with the SP2, and then in a couple of hits you're back up to an SP2. Again, it's rinse and repeat is what I want to say. He's regenerating while he's taking the hits. As soon as you get to the SP2, fire it off. You get almost above power. Couple clicks here, he's regenerating because he's bleeding. If he's not bleeding, tap that SP1, boom, boom. Start that bleed process all again, and look at your power gain go up. You just intense power gain. His power gain is better than Hyperion once that opponent is bleeding. Now, some of you are going to be saying, well, when the opponent is not bleeding, how effective is he? Well, we have a fight coming up with Vision. He's bleed immune, and you'll see how well Blade does do against him. Even a bleed immune champion, it takes a bit longer because they're not bleeding. He's not doing a lot of damage over time, but that SP2 is so powerful and devastating. You're going to see how he destroys this content. So if you want to clear content and you're new to the game and you want to go past the first 4, 5, 6 quests using Blade, the guy saves you a ton of units. You just have to use him properly. You stay in the game playing play. He is definitely immortal. I'm thinking he is better than the immortal Hulk because he's immortal for a couple seconds. He regens, yes, and then he's dead. This guy, Blade, however, stays in the fight for as long as you could keep up focus and concentration. It's pretty much immortal based on your skill level. Here you go, and trust me, you don't have to have a whole lot of skill to play with Blade. I'm not the greatest player out there, and every day you learn something new. Hopefully you guys get something from this video. Again, SP2, rinse and repeat. He gets almost a bar power on that one. SP2, like I said, don't push him to SP3. That would be, in my opinion, just a waste of a special. It leaves yourself open to get hit and have no energy to revive, and you don't want to get caught in a situation. As you can see, he's back down to 60%. He's back up to 78% in a matter of 2 seconds. Sorry, 68% in 2 seconds. Fire it off, hold that block, and regen for the last couple seconds. There you go. Back up to 70%. And he is an absolute killer. Now guys, if you guys enjoying this gameplay, please hit the subscribe button. It really helps the channel grow. It really helps me continue with the channel. It helps with the content, and it really helps if you hit the notification bell so you get notified via text or email when we have new content on that would help you with your gameplay tips, strategies, and so forth. Now, SP2 again. Fire it off. He's almost at 2 bars of power again. He's at 2 bars of power, just being close to her. Fire it off again. This guy is an absolute rinse and repeat beast once you know how to use him properly. Again, do not push for the SP3 unless you finish off on a fight with an SP3 blow and they're close enough to just finish them off. Just use your SP1, SP2. This way you always have some power left for regeneration, is what keeps you in the gameplay. Now, Question. This guy is an absolute yes for Question. The original trio, Ghost Rider, Blade, and of course Stark's enhanced Spider-Man. They do so much damage. It's just devastating damage to have the 3 of them on your team. Ghost Rider is the next regeneration absolute beast, and of course when it comes to Stark enhanced Spider-Man, evading projectiles, he's a must-have, and of course his high damage output is ridiculous. But check out Blade. And Blade synergy with him also gives him 3 poise charges to start his Stark enhanced Spider-Man attacks. And with 3 charges, you pretty much could devastate most of this gameplay anyway. Here we go. He's regenning. He's at 71%. We're gonna just bleed her out right here now. Boom. He's at 66%. Hold block for a couple seconds, back up to 70%. I mean, who else does this this well? There we go, SP2. Apply that bleed, damage over time, they just keep ticking away. Even if you get clipped, we want you to get some hits. Look at this regeneration. This is just to demonstrate the regeneration. It's absolutely insane. How could we leave this guy out of the rotation with Question? He does so much damage. He saves you on so many units and revives. He just stays in the gameplay and it destroys content. And if there's a specific champion on that one path that did not bleed, use a different champion. Use someone else. Like right here now, we could have used a different champion. But for demonstration purposes of how devastating Blade could be, we are still going to go with Blade for this fight. Normal gameplay, obviously, you would use someone else for this flight, a Cosmic Champion, for example. But you don't need to once you have this guy, because this guy is going to get the job done eventually. Now, here we go. Everyone in this realm of legends, by the way, is going to bleed for with the exception, of course, with Vision. And the only other champion I would not use blade for on this lineup would be Wolverine. If you do not have a heal reversal champion to fight that Wolverine, you're going to be fighting all day long. I could take Blade up against him and Blade would be healing, he would be healing, I'd be at 71% all day, but Wolverine would be at 100% all day. He may drop down to 40, 50, he might even drop down around 70%, and then he starts regenerating right back up to 100%. So do not waste your time and bring in anyone to fight Wolverine. You're going to be fighting that guy all day long. So Blade is not the champion to bring in against that particular champion on this quest. So that is why we brought in Void. But SP2 does crit rating 2000 per click. Boom. SP1 is a complete waste of time in this gameplay here to use with Blade, because Vision does not bleed. So the gameplay that does the most damage would be SP2. So we just get to SP2, fire off. Plus, if we get clipped, if we get hit, if we make a mistake, if we lose focus, we get hit, we can regen because we have bars of power. That is the beauty, and we stay at 71%. There we go. And Vision has that heal block if he gets you down to 0% power. But if you hold block, he absolutely does no damage to you. There we go. SP2. So this fight, guys, takes a little bit longer to complete, but I want to complete it because we need to get to the next fight. And we're going to be going up against Scarlett Witch. And then we have, I believe it is going to be Wolverine, or is it Wolverine and then Scarlett Witch? I'm not quite sure, I don't remember. But we're going to get there and we're going to finish off this entire part on Realm of Legends. Normally you don't ever see me do the entire Realm of Legends. We normally do Winter Soldier and we get out of the gameplay. But today you're going to get to see the entire Realm of Legends completed, and I would say 90% of it is Blade, and of course that one fight with Void against Wolverine. So here we go. Fire up the SP2. You gotta love the feel of the gameplay with this guy as well. He's just so cool. Now who are you gonna be fighting with and having them at 71% for the entire gameplay? It's crazy. So Blade, absolute beast and killer 4 or 5 years ago. Everyone loved him. It took me over a year and a half to get Blade. We just couldn't pull him on any of the crystals. We finally got him. And then of course the first thing I use an Awakening Gem on is Blade, just to get that Vampiric Immortality. And he is truly immortal. Obviously, like any champion, you get used to a couple fights. I didn't think he was that great at first because I keep getting clipped and I keep dying. And it's because I kept going for that SP3. I kept using up all of the energy without having anything else left in the tank for regen. And it was very frustrating that I have such a powerful champion, didn't know how to use it. But like most gameplay and most champions, once you get to use them, it is so absolutely devastating and satisfying when you get to use it. I guess it's the same way someone that has Ghost feels when they first have them, or maybe Quake, because those champions, once you have them, it's okay, you still die a lot, you get hit, clipped, but once you get to use them efficiently and effectively, I mean, they are just absolute beasts in the gameplay. And I'm still not good with Ghost, or I'm still not very good with Quake. We win fights with them, but we're working on it. It's a work in progress. But here we go. We now know how to really use Blade efficiently, effectively, and to clear content. And he is better than Ghost. He's better than Quake for one reason. He has that absolute regen over and over again. The only thing that is going to stop him is a node where it's heal reversal, or there's a node where you cannot heal, or maybe cannot bleed the opponent. So other than that, he's an absolute killer. Why not use him? He's an absolute killer, and he has killer synergies with some of the best champions in the game. So here we go. Now, if this wasn't the gameplay, we could have put him in with instead of Void, or instead of Spidey Stark Enhanced, we could have put in there as well Cosmic Ghost Rider with Ghost Rider and Blade, still using that Cosmic Ghost Rider and Ghost Rider synergy for that gameplay. So there's quite a few diverse synergies you can use here with some other champions that are absolute beasts in the gameplay. Another champion that is I thought wasn't that great when I first got him was Silver Surfer. I said, man, this guy is, why is he so rated, and why does he have such high stats? And then after about a week or two playing with him and getting the rotation right and learning how to use that SP1 at the right time, start the fight with a heavy to do that armor break, and he is just an absolute beast. So Silver Surfer is one of my favorite champions in the game as well, and then he also has synergies with Cosmic Ghost Rider. So he is the next one you could put in the mix, and it's absolutely beastly gameplay. But please leave below comments on who you use, or what do you think about Blade. Do you have Blade, and what do you use Blade for, or did you just put him on the shelf and find that he is of no use to you because you're so excited about newer champions? I just thought that this gameplay was needed at this point, because I think that this guy is so good that everyone forgot about him and they went on to Nick Fury and all these other champions for synergies. But you know what, who the hell needs synergies when you got this Blade regening all over the place, sticking at 71% from gameplay after gameplay after gameplay, killing champ after champ after champ. In Realm of Legends, imagine what he's going to do with regular game content when the champions are just instead of 55 PI here or health, they're just at 15 or 10 or 20k health. He's just an absolute beast, man. So leave your comments below, guys. Please tell me, what do you think about Blade? Is he still relevant to the gameplay? Do you still like him? Do you still use him? Do you not like him? Do you disagree with my style of the gameplay and use for him? Or please share with us how you use Blade most efficiently and effectively. Now, this Black Panther is an absolute beast for Blade. If you ever got clipped by him, you will see how fast he bleeds you out. But Blade, he just holds that block and he keeps on regening, man. He takes all the hits like a champ from Black Panther. Look at it. All the hits like a champ. And he just regens while he's at it. Power gain. I don't know where the bars went on the blade. I don't see any icons on what his health. Let's see. Okay, he's regenerating again. Regen, hold that block. That's all you gotta do. Hold that block and keep on clipping. And then this fight is going to be in the bin. One more hit. SP. Or just let him bleed out. Oh, well, let's show you our SP3. We haven't seen an SP3 in the game, but this is what I'm saying. Use the SP3. It's nice to see. It feels great. It's a beautiful visual. Those last two hits do some serious damage. But it is not, in my opinion, recommended to use it during the gameplay because you do not want to use up 100% of your power. You always want to have some power in reserve for some quick regen if you need to. So that you could negate some bleeds, poisons, or whatever. You could start regenerating and actually help stay in the gameplay without dying. So Scarlett Witch, you're gonna see me use a lot of SP1s on her because she has, sometimes she just power drains you down to nothing. So why wait for SP2? Just use the SP1s as fast as possible, but we're getting so much power gain right now. We want to throw that SP2, get back to SP1, fire it off, keep that bleed on her, because you don't want to waste that bar of power with her power drain. Again, we had 70%, took some hits. We want to fire it off before we get to SP3. We have almost 2 bars of power again. Fire up that SP2 again, get that bleed stacked on her, and she is just melting away like butter. Look at that. And oh, we had 76%. For some reason, we actually gaining some health here against this Scarlett Witch. I just realized we over 71%, we had 76. And that has to do with some benefits we get from Scarlett Witch herself. With her crazy magic stuff. So we're gonna actually end this fight with 75%, guys, instead of 71%. So this is the fight. We have 2 more fights, Black Bolt and Hulk with Blade. But we are going to bring in Void. This is a 5-star awakened Void. If you have Void, don't just leave him at rank 4 like a lot of people do. Take him up to rank 5, because what he does at rank 4 is pretty good, but what he does at rank 5, he does it even better. And that goes for any champ. So if you could get him to rank 5, get him to rank 5. But Void is an absolute must for this gameplay to take on this Wolverine. As soon as you put his 3 charges on him, his Void, Feared Void, you will see Wolverine trying to heal, but he's actually going to go in reverse. He's going to reverse healing. He's going to actually kill off himself. And look at how fast he does it. And Void is a good champion to use here. You could use Guillotine 2099 and SP2 reverses heal as well. And you could use Guillotine 2099, SP2 heal reverses Wolverine as well. So those are the three champs that I would use. Who else could do some reversal here? Maybe Human Torch, but not as good as Void would do it. Void is the absolute killer when it comes to this heal reversal, and he's the absolute best with all the gameplay and trials I've done. He takes out Wolverine the easiest. So if you have Void, he's one of the champions I recommend you taking up to SP3, rank 5 as soon as possible. He's good at rank 4, rank 5 even better. And here we go. Almost done, guys. We block with Blade. And as you can see, it's rinse and repeat. He parries, takes no damage from a Black Bolt. The only thing with Black Bolt is you got to push him. If you pushed him to SP2, you need to know to back off so you don't get hit by that SP2, because he's going to wreak some serious damage onto you. And his SP3 you definitely do not want to get hit with, because he could actually end the gameplay with that SP3. So you need to bait out SP2 or 1. And fortunately for us, he actually pushes and fires off the SP2 and 1 with no problems. And this gameplay obviously is Realm of Legends. All he does is SP2. They don't fire SP3, so why not push him to the limit? If he fires off the SP2, we're gonna just back off. And it's pretty simple to see it. You're gonna see when he holds that block and goes back, and then he charges into you. You know it's time to get away and use your dexterity, or just back off a couple times. There you go. And he's easy to dex out of it. Fire up that SP2. And we're gonna melt this guy down in a couple minutes. He's all 50% done. We're gonna stack that blade on him. Again, we had 59%. Didn't even realize it. We're just gonna hold that block for a couple seconds. We're gonna get some fire off the SP2, get some power, and be back up to 71%. And just like that, we're back in the game, ready to kick some serious butt. There we go. SP2, that damage over time is just insane, man. That bleed just stacks. There you go. 6 stacks of bleed. This guy is just gonna start melting away here. Close aim with bleed, power gain. I'm telling you guys, there's no one else in this gameplay that does this as good as Blade. His regeneration is absolutely out of this world. He is truly vampiric immortality. And there you go. One more fight, guys, and then we'll be done with this video. Again, hope you guys enjoying the gameplay. Hope you enjoy the gameplay. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button, please. It really helps out the channel. Hit the notification bell so you get updated and updates and alerted when we put out new content. And if we also have a series on the channel that says who is better, where we put one champ against another champ against Winter Soldier, give some gameplay tips, strategies, and decide at the end who is better in my opinion. And obviously you will leave on comments below on who you believe is better. So if you haven't checked out the Who is Better series on the channel, leave a comment on who you would like also for me to have challenge each other, so that we can do more gameplay content on decide if you have limited resources, which champion would you put out resources into first for better gameplay clearing content, and a champ that would be more useful to you than ranking up someone that is not going to be very useful and just sits on the shelf. Now here we go. Blade sat on the shelf for way too long. We need to bring this guy back into the gameplay. He's absolutely devastating. If you were thinking about using champs, who to use, well, why not put Blade on the rotation for question, a regular daily question, because he's so versatile, so much health and regeneration, and use one of the other champions maybe for other gameplay content, Alliance Quest, or maybe something like Alliance War. That frees up one champion off your question detail, because Blade is so devastating at the regular daily question. He's absolutely insane with regeneration. And I think regeneration champions are really good for daily questing anyway. It saves you a whole ton of units. You don't have to be worried about any of that. You could save your units for something more useful. SP2. So we started this Realm of Legends at 100%. First fight went down to 70%. We had 71%. We had 64% now right now. We're going to regen right now. We're going to end up at again, right back up a couple seconds, back up to 68%, 71. And we are going to finish this gameplay off with a 70%. So I don't know which champions you're going to be using, or maybe you could recommend below which other champion would finish this content and clear the entire content, with the exception, of course, of Wolverine at 100%, at 70% health, and clear this much content. Maybe Void is the one we should use for all of this gameplay, because he actually could take out Wolverine. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, we completed this Realm of Legends several times before, so there's no rewards, but I hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And remember to work less, play more, enjoy life, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye bye guys.